There's more expansion in luxury hotel product at all different levels than I've ever seen before. Incredible stuff. How can travel advisors and the travel advisors in this audience sort of keep track of everything? It's really hard. I know Ignacio's great. He knows all about every hotel known. Ignacio knows. So, but not everybody has that ability, I think, or necessarily wants it. We'll see. How do you differentiate the products offered by these luxury hotels and determine the right hotel for the right customer? And I'll start with you, Becky.
Well, the travel industry is all about relationships. So having relationships with these small hotels that are coming into the market are very important. We at Protravel are very lucky because we have a lot of new product that partners are wanting to come in and educate our advisors on, making sure too that we identify how the property or who the right client is for the property, and educating our advisors either through webinars, through our intranet site, again, in-office visits, shows like ILTM, Virtuoso Week, Pure, I mean, you name the number of shows that are out there. It's really important that these advisors go to these shows to learn about them. So we really encourage our agents to go and go out to the shows. We even work with them, the shows individually, to make sure we have the right agents going there, advisors I should say, going there and getting educated and then coming back and sharing that information internally. So we have all kinds of venues, avenues to educate our frontline advisors.
Well, the thing is, I think hotels is actually the really next frontier, if it already isn't here, for travel advisors, because we've been talking about cruise a lot,
right?
And there's such diversity in product in hotels that it's completely bewildering, even to the most upscale customer. And the only person I think is a guide like a travel advisor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, Jon, you're in the tour, but you also book a lot of hotels for, especially now with Luxury Gold. How do you discern what hotels to use and also communicate that to your customers?
Well, I think that's one of the things that you see with a package program that is a misconception, that you have access to some of the world's best hotels. Like one of the examples that I like to use is Ashford Castle, which is in Ireland.
And also a sister company, right?
Also a sister company owned by the Tolman family, but recognized as one of, if not the best hotel in the world. That's something that you wouldn't be able to put your guest on necessarily during peak season because it's difficult to get into. So by having a packaged product, you're able to offer that high caliber hotel that you may not be able to have access to on your own. And it's not just, and it's important for you to feel comfortable to say, this is a more expensive property, and this is why. So, for example, one of the things that they do at Ashford Castle is they do something called the Hawk Walk. And what you're able to do is it's like a falconry, and you can go on a walk through the woods, and you give a little piece of meat and a little piece of cheese to these hawks. They're not actually falcons. And you'll feed them, and then they'll fly off, and you'll walk a little farther, and then they'll land on your arm. There, you have a nice leather thing. Don't worry here, and then you'll be able to have this very unique experience, this falconry experience called the Hawk Walk at Ashford Castle. So when we look at accommodations now, it transcends just some place to sleep or some place to eat, and you need to be able to communicate that experience to your guests. And what we see with the guided vacation space is you're able to have access during peak times to these properties that you would not be able to experience on your own.
No, that's a great point. And I know, I got closed out of Ashford Castle last year for some reason. Some prince or somebody took the whole thing out. Who knows? Anyway, Carmen, I want to go to you first because you are on the cruise side, but you're seeing all this product out in hotels. What's your view of what's going on in the hotel space?
So I'll share my personal view as a consumer. And first of all, I don't know how our travel partners do it because you have so many choices. But I really think it's about having, and Becky, you hit it spot on. It's relationships. It's really access, and that is only created through relationships and being a specialist. So I'll give you, and I won't name the hotel where I was, and my colleague said, why do you stay there every time you go to New York? I have a relationship with them. They text me. Doris texts me and says, Ms. Roig, we can't wait to have you back again. They welcome me back. I feel like I have a crystal experience every time I'm at that hotel. By the way, it's not the most expensive hotel. It's not the most luxurious hotel. but I have a personal relationship with the hotel. So I always think if you're a specialist and you have a relationship with any supplier, by the way, against whatever you're selling, whether it's hotels, cruises, it is about a personal relationship where, because by the way, when things are great, all suppliers are there for you. When things go bump in the night, and they do, it's Murphy's Law, it's who is there to help you and make sure that they solve your situation. So that's why it's so important to have that personal relationship and the access. So John, when can I book Ashford Castle? Thank you.
Right after I booked my Crystal Cruise.
Bingo.
There you go. We got a trade here. I think we got a deal. Ignacio, you developed the hotel programs for several major consortia over the years, including Signature. You're now overseeing all the luxury. How do travel advisors deal with this choice in the market with hotels and just the explosion, in the hotel and resort space?
A couple of things come to mind. One, I agree with you. It's overwhelming. Even for those of us that have been in the business 40 plus years, as I have, it's very hard to stay on top of everything. I think, number one, you need to join a strong network that has a good portfolio of preferred hotel partners. You need a curated, vetted, up-to-date collection that is refreshed every single year. Number two, you need access to valuable privileges. At Signature, we have a great portfolio of partner properties, and every one of them provides special benefits and privileges to our clients that they wouldn't get otherwise. I agree with Becky that relationships are really important because this is a business of relationships, but you also need a team of professionals at headquarters that has your back. So whenever something goes wrong or you need help, you need advocacy and somebody that is going to pull strings to help you out. And I would say, finally, you need to depend on the expertise of the advisors that we have in the network. We have over 7,000 advisors, and they are feeding us information daily about, I was just in Rome, I was just in Tokyo, I got back from New Guinea, this is what I saw, I think this is really important. And that constant conversation keeps the collection fresh and vibrant and up to date. But I agree, it's a challenge.